I woke up very early, came properly awake, so I knew I wasn't going to go back to sleep, and stepped out onto the balcony to see if I could see anything. And here we are, starting to see the lights of Gijon on the horizon. We often see photos of sunrises and sunsets, but I think seeing it in the pitch dark like this when there's no moon, it's very, very peaceful. No sound at all except the ship moving through the water. When we arrived at the Britannia Club restaurant, it was very quiet, so I thought I'd take a quick video just so that you can see what this beautiful
Good morning.
is.
Hi.
After breakfast in the Britannia Club restaurant, we went to catch the shuttle bus into Gijon. We were berthed at the Muelle Norte in the Puerto de Musel, the mussel port, which is about 5 kilometres or a little bit more out of Gijon proper, around about 15 to 20 minutes drive. It dropped us off outside the railway museum, and being an absolutely dedicated railway freak, we had to go in. Spanish train gauge is wider than standard gauge.
Yeah.
And it used to mean when you crossed the border you had to change trains, and then later on they actually had trains where you got to the border, they lifted the carriages off the bogies, put new bogies underneath, and off you went, things like that.
Probably took longer.
Yeah. Not sure what they do now, but certainly, I say, it used to, well, you can see here they're wider. It's fairly obvious that they're wider. Something of the mountains. Anyway. No, I don't know what the gauge actually is without looking it up, but I mean, these are pretty standard wherever you are in the world, I think. the extra gauge, width in the gauge and loading gauge, which is the sort of outside, you know, you've got the gauge between the tracks, but you also got the loading gauge, which is sort of the space you've got available for actually putting the superstructure through, if you like. Ours is small because we built some of the first, so the tunnels are much smaller.
Yeah.
It certainly
So
makes
they can't be bigger than the tunnel.
no, unless you build new ones, but I mean, it makes for a heck of a roomy cab. Well, you know, the cab and the carriages and everything else, you know, it makes them all very this is now apart the looks of it, built in 1962. It looks quite as if it was built to a much earlier style. It is obviously much so this narrow gauge track there, obviously. Broad gauge track over there. When we look at the width of the cab on that thing, you know, I mean, that's the difference, you know, because we built it all early on.
Yeah.
Our loading gauge is very, very small. Yeah, you get all sorts of wagons in steelworks. As you say, because they have very peculiar
Yeah.
requirements. Well, they weren't expecting. In 1965, it looks fairly modern. Chain, see, it's chain drive under there. You see the massive, great big chains.
Yes, yeah.
So
You can see one in under
yeah,
that one.
you can see all the. You need that to obviously slap grease all over and over. But look at where the frames are. They weren't expecting much by way of bad track for that. That's definite. You know, some of them. You know, I say that one would be built to go over industrial track where they're not very clever, but this one, the frames are so low to the ground.
You have a do on the axle, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It wouldn't cope with it. Well, you'd say so, anyway. Babbies, good one. Babcock and Wilcox Tyndale Bell, good one.
Up to the just in England, is it?
Oh no, I mean Babbies was international. I didn't know they ever made. Well, I knew they used to make power station boilers and milling stuff and all that heavy industrial kit. I never knew they built railway locos. Or if I did, I'd forgotten. It's like 1.875 metres, what that is in proper money.
Somewhere between 5 and 6 feet, isn't it?
It's about 5 foot, yeah. Slightly over 5 foot. But it's like the Irish gauge is 5'2" or something like that. And it just looks so strange when you see it, you know, because the guards compartment on the back.
Doesn't have much space, does it?
Depends how far you have to travel. But no, there's nowhere to rest your backside.
Yeah, I suppose it's just a few minutes.
Yeah, shortish distance. And it may well be if they were what they call fly shunted, in other words, if they were pushed so far and then allowed to roll, you'd have it then because you would then control the speed so it didn't smack into something. I mean, these are fairly typical mining tubs. I mean, you see that kind of thing in British coal mines.
Presumably it's sort of from the end of the locomotives that Margaret built.
Yeah,
So that's sort of the size, I think. I'm sure I saw one go out on the back of a lorry.
Again, we didn't have many, but we did have wagons built like that in Britain. Not very many, but the side discharge hopper wagons. So stuff goes in the top, coal, limestone, whatever, and then the doors are on the side. You can see the locks and what have you at the bottom, so they'll flip open and everything just falls out the side. Over time we tended to end up with bottom discharge stuff. Different things for different purposes, but the LMS had some.
If it comes underneath, you've got to be able to put it on top, go on top of a pit or
Yeah, well, exactly.
something of the sort at least.
Yeah, I mean, what it means is with these, the pit entrance grids were on the side.
Yeah.
So, it would flip out and come, but there's advantages and disadvantages to both. But in Britain, the movement was towards central discharge rather than side discharge. That one is? Oh yes, okay.
It's British. Yeah. Oh, Badford, yeah, they do a lot of the shipyard stuff, don't they?
They used to build power stations as well.
Yeah, that's right. Loads. Just engineering and general engineering.
Yeah. I worked for other boiler makers when I was an apprentice, and they were our big rivals.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Looks a bit primitive in there, look. You can see it.
I didn't go in because there was a group there all sitting on the seats, and I thought, well, I've seen it, that's important. Henshaw were a very well-known manufacturer. Very well-known manufacturer. Yeah, sometimes there's a good way of doing it, and only the details sort of.
Yes, you wouldn't want to go very far in that. Little ambulance coach.
And that's not the same sort of seats. In it now, at least.
But you'll notice the seats are absolutely, the slats are flat, so you can put stretchers on it. But as I say, you see, there's a way of doing stuff. Like, you know, this is a van. It's not,
Yeah.
doesn't look like a British van, but
Yeah.
you know, it's a van with a sliding door for easy access. It might have a guard's compartment in it, but I mean, we had guards vans that, you know, if you had small parcels and stuff, they went in the guards van.
Yeah.
You know, when you had branch line training,
Yeah.
if you wanted to, you know, take a parcel, send a parcel somewhere, you didn't just get chucked in or whatever. A small parcel would go in the guards van, especially if they were just going up the line.
Yeah, depending how far we were going.
Yeah. Or how robust they were, you know, sending eggs to market or anything like that, they go in the guards van. Or in the guards compartment in the coach or something like that, you know. But yes, that looks quite American, that looks. And Mobile Vulcan Ironworks. Manufactured in the States. Funny, you look at, there are national styles, if you like.
Yeah.
You could spend a lot of time in here if you had the time to spend. I think we're probably going to end up not seeing everything just because we want to go and do all the things.
Roman bath closes at 2 for lunch.
Well, we'll better make a move then. It's now 11:15, so.
I checked because I suddenly thought they might
That's all right.
close at lunchtime.
It's about a quarter of an hour from me, about. Tend not to realise how far off the ground these things actually are. Oh, that's a long step. Goodness me. Yeah. Chair backs that can go either way. Typical trams. Actually, with the brake, I wouldn't guess that the driver's controls would have been there. So after spending a little while in the Railway Museum, we both enjoyed it. Ruth enjoyed looking at the social aspects. I enjoyed obviously looking at the mechanical aspects. Being an engineer, we decided that we would go on and look at the Roman baths, which we did visit when we were here in 2007 or 8. And they were very good, so we were looking forward to seeing that again, but it was a little walk away from where we were. So we went out of the museum, walked along the front, up through the old town to the Roman baths, which you'll see in the second video. We got back to the Railway Museum looking to pick up a bus, and there was quite a queue, so we decided we had a little bit of time to wait. It was not that busy, so we went back inside because it was a day ticket. We went and had a look at the small exhibits, went and look at some of the other stuff, and also found out there's some tremendous museums in the area, industrial museums, which I'd love to go and see another time. So I'll see you in the next video.